We are returning. It is now 1:01, and we will continue with item 6F2.
We have barely quorum.
We barely have a quorum, yes, Commissioner Flores. Please continue, staff.
Thank you, Mayor. So we've completed the presentation, and if there are any questions, we're prepared to address any questions that the commission may have.
Commissioner Flores, you're recognized.
So, my questions were regarding the approval process, and I have a couple of questions. So first of all, when people apply, will there be a screening of some sort to see if they're in, there's realistic expectation that they're going to be able to buy? They're not just applying and holding a slot?
Yes, sir. Typically, there's the initial screening process where we ensure that, one, they meet the income eligibility requirements of the program as part of that process.
So what, besides the income eligibility, what other requirements are we posing? That you're ready to buy, that?
We'll have some general questions, but that's the primary one, because then the next step is...
How long are we holding the money for then?
Say it one more time, I'm sorry.
How long are we gonna hold the 50,000, up to 50,000 for?
We set the maximum term.
In other words, I'm trying to figure out whether these are eligible buyers that have a mortgage pre-approval in place.
We had the recommendation for both the, using the lottery system for everyone, where anyone who is wanting to purchase a home won't be able to come in. For the first come, first serve, we're only planning on applying that when they come in and they already have a signed contract, because they've got timelines that they would need to meet. So there may be a pool of individuals.
Let's say the universe is 200 applicants, and 25 are ready to buy. Those will be first come, first serve, and the other remainder will be a lottery.
I'm sorry, Commissioner, can you say it one more time?
Okay. So my point is, are these people going to be ready to buy, and how long are we going to hold the money for? So in my hypothetical, we get 200 applicants. 25 are contract in hand, they're ready to move. Those 25 will be first come, first serve, because they are contract in hand, they've been pre-approved for a mortgage. So those will be first come, first serve. The other remainder, whatever that pool is, let's say it's 175 in this example that I'm using, then we'll go into a lottery.
We could do it that way. Here's the thing. If we put out the criteria that we're going to accept contracts, I imagine most people are going to come with contracts. And so you're going to still see some level of us having to, one, process the eligibility of the individual and to prove that they are ready and pre-approved to move forward with the mortgage, and that our up to 50,000 is just the gap they need to make the transaction work.
Okay. I like the lottery system. If they're ready to buy and they're ready to go, then I'm okay with first come, first serve. If not, the remainder should be a lottery. Because if they're not ready to buy and they're gonna sit on potentially 50,000, because I'm assuming that's what we're gonna reserve because they submit an application, it should be lottery based. If they're not ready to, if they don't have a contract in hand, it should be lottery based. If they do have a contract in hand and they're ready to proceed, then those should get priority because they're ready to move forward. That money should be expended and they should have home ownership realistically within 60, 90 days, right?
Theoretically, yes, sir. That's the contract period, typically.
Yes, sir.
And how long are we gonna hold that spot or that reserve in place?
Yes, sir. Additionally, as the policies call for the prospective buyer to utilize our assistance within 6 months of us reserving that funding for that buyer. We could allow for the policies, proposed policies, up to 2 90-day extensions if they have issues closing, but 6 months is the short answer.
That's how long we'll hold the funds.
Yes.
And then at that point, will there be a second round for whatever funds don't get utilized?
There could either be a second round. My initial thought was almost like we do with the workforce housing program is we keep it open year round. So that way you're not ready now, but you may be ready in a few months. Should we wait or should we allow them to come in and submit because they're ready?
I meant more like a second round of lottery of the people that did not get approved, because
We can look at a second round of the lottery, or after we do the first round of the lottery, we can take a look at them in order of how they submitted, and then we can just go with those numbers. So the lottery may pull out numbers 5, 30, 40, whatever. Then we can take them in order of submission. It's really up to the board from that perspective. We can do a second round of the lottery, or we can take them in order of submission.
I keep saying I'm a big fan of the lottery. That way, you give people ample time to get their ducks in a row. And we just decide what the time limit is. Do we hold it open for 10 days and then we do a lottery? Whatever that time frame is. But I agree with you as well as, if they are contract in hand and they're ready to move forward, yeah, let's put that money to good use. Absolutely. So I'm a fan of the program. I want to see it be successful. I just want it to be, one of the things that I hear about a lot of our programs is that, by the time I went in 40 minutes later, it was all booked. So there was no chance for a working, we got to realize this, that there are people that work, and if you open a window at a specific time, you may have a nurse or someone that's at work and is not able to do this. So we should open it up for the entire community, not just the people that are free at that time and place. So thank you for bringing this back, and I appreciate it.
And Commissioner, based on the input we received from the board in the past, we have for all of those very high volume where those applications come in and they've spent all of the money within the first hour, we've already converted those to the lottery system. So we definitely took the board's direction on that and are moving forward with those already.
And as Tammy stated, we spoke to HUD, we spoke to the state, and they have no issue with the lottery.
We're clear that we like the lottery.
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Weiss, you're recognized.
Thank you very much. Actually, just two questions for you. And I brought, during the break, I let you know what the first question is. And this has to do with, this is potentially a forgivable loan, so it is actually a grant. And then is there a responsibility to 1099 these individuals at year 15?
Yes, sir, Commissioner, Mayor, if you don't mind response. We spoke to the clerk's office, and they did confirm that at the end of the affordability period, if we are going to satisfy that loan, they do send 1099s.
Okay, good. All right. And then, and this just came up while I was listening to Commissioner Flores' dialogue with you. If somebody is ready to go and they have all their approvals, why would they be coming to this program if they're already approved? Because they've got their loan docs and everything are based on the fact that they're able to close at that point.
If they're ready to go, they shouldn't necessarily need it. But what we've seen often is that individuals are coming to us with contracts, but they still have the gap that they need.
How do you get approved with a gap? I mean, I know I've gone to the bank and gotten mortgages, and they want to see how you're going to close.
Yeah. I guess even taking that a little further is you can get approved. It's just surprising they can get a contract. But, if the seller's going to sign a contract, then the seller's going to sign a contract.
Oh, so you're not talking about necessarily that they, are you talking about that they have approval on on the mortgage?
Yes, sir. So the bank will pre-approve them up to a certain amount based on their income, based on their credit. And so we'll know the max mortgage that they could qualify for.
Gotcha.
But then again, some of them not only come
And
in
this
with
can
the
help
pre-approval, they
reduce
come
the
in with
amount of
sales
the mortgage.
contract.
Okay, understood. Thank you. Thanks for clarification.
Vice Mayor Woodward and then Commissioner Powell.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I wanted to ask, because I think we had talked one time before about potentially doing like quarterly tranches of money so that, to kind of address if a lot of this goes out the door very quickly, every 90 days we could add an additional amount. I mean, we don't really know how this is going to go because it's brand new. But if we plan for the next year that each 90 days opens up another pot of money, then this allows for people who are already maybe listening right now and thinking, I'm not going to be able to do this until July or August. Is all of it gone by then? Could we somehow like pre-allocate every 90 days, we're going to add to the amount? If we're doing 5 million, but does it have to be 5 million in the very beginning, or can we kind of spread that out a little bit?
We can spread that out, and that would help address Commissioner Flores' questions as well as lotteries and next round. So we could do that. We can say $1 million or $1.5 million this month, and then in a few months we can do another million. We can do that. That's not a problem.
Because I very much agree with what he was saying, and trying to do people who are ready to buy, we definitely want to help them move forward. But for those who are not everyone's ready to buy in the first 3 months of this year. So, and I think, and I've already had some questions where people are asking, we want to do this in the fall. Is it over by then? But this way, at least it gives us a chance to kind of spread it out and people can plan and continue to save for the next 6 or 7 months. Keep saving your money because that's only going to increase what the match could be.
We can
Okay.
do that. We can do it in tranches.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Would that look like equal, forgive me, Commissioner Powell, would that look like equal amounts in quarterly tranches? If we took that 5 million, would we divide it evenly and do it every quarter where we release another?
Good question, Mayor. We could. I would anticipate you may want the first round to be a little bit higher because people may receive income tax dollars, refunds, and so you may see a little bit more activity a little
On
earlier.
the front end?
On the front end.
Okay.
But we can look equal, maybe a little bit
No,
more.
that makes sense. It's a valid point. So however you guys deem that to be probably the most useful, the most amount of people get access to Commissioner Flores' point if people are working. And Commissioner Powell, you're recognized.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. And this goes back to my original question and kind of delves into what Commissioner Flores was asking in terms of process. And really for anybody who's interested in the program, the challenge is purchasing a home. Sometimes when I explain it to people, I make it seem like it's this wonderful process that's easy. But people need to have 18 months worth of bank statements, check stubs from their jobs, any other sources of income. If somebody has given them $100, they need to prove to the mortgage lender where that $100 came from or get a note from the person who gave it to them, all kinds of stuff that goes into. So delving into that, someone has an approval letter, but they didn't secure the funds yet, but they do have an approval letter and they're shopping around for a home. And the approval letter, let's just say somebody's approved for $400,000, right? And they find a home that is listed for $425,000. Now, if they've got a realtor, they're going to try to negotiate. Where does that person fit into the process? Are they eligible to say they have a contract in hand? Because they technically don't, but they're looking at a house that they're interested in. They would have a gap, but they do have a letter, approval letter from a bank or from a lender, but they don't actually. So are they out of the process because the house that they're looking at doesn't fall into that realm? Or are they still negotiating between their realtor and the realtor of the seller? Just in terms of process for people who are really looking at trying to purchase a home, especially people who are purchasing a home for the first time, because I've had people tell me the way I explained it to them and the way they had to try to go through the process were completely different. Like, they asked for everything from me. What are you talking about? So if they want to apply for this program and they want to be eligible for funds, and we're also talking about a dollar for dollar match, process-wise, what is the best best way that an individual or couple can make themselves available or eligible to successfully receive funds that we've allocated for this particular program?
Thank you, Commissioner. So the best way would be for us to do kind of the pre-screening process without a contract. Let's make sure they understand if they're going to go lottery, they're in lottery. And then they know. From there, we'll ask them to provide certain documentations. Let's confirm employment, let's confirm income, let's make sure you're eligible for the program. This way, again, there's no rush in terms of them trying to get a contract or us trying to meet a contract date. One of the things I always tell buyers is, you remember, you're coordinating with your lender, our lender, title company. There's a lot of different steps in that process. The best way is a pre-approval. Best way is to work through the lottery process that we're starting. But if they come in with a contract in hand, we have a way of helping them too.
Thank you. And just as a confirmation or reiteration, this program is available to individuals who not only work in Palm Beach County in terms of all of Palm Beach County, but individuals who are currently employed by Palm Beach County, the government, correct?
Yes, sir. Those are the two things you need. You would either need to be a resident or you're employed here in Palm Beach County.
Okay. Thank you. That is all.
I have a motion by Commissioner Flores. This is for, I'm going to clarify my earlier statement. We are on 6F1, A, B, and C. I have a motion by Commissioner Flores, a second by Vice Mayor Woodward. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Please see that the motion carries 6-0.
Thank you.
Now, we are moving on to 6F2. We do have a card. The name is
Amin Mohammed. Please come forward, state your name and address for the record.
Good afternoon. My name's Amin Mohammed, one of the owners of Horror Homes, address 1000 Northwest 3rd Street, Belgrade, Florida. First of all, I want to thank you guys, county commissioners, Mayor Sarah Baxter, county staff, for taking the time to review this project. This project means a lot to me, more than just a developer or builder, because I am a resident in Belgrade, born, raised, currently live there, invested there. So it's an honor for me to be part of a project like this, to bring workforce, affordable housing, especially in a time like this, to the citizens of Belgrade. And then we are running into some challenges that you guys may know with demucking costs and stuff like that. But I'm looking forward to bringing this project to life and bringing something to the county and the city to be proud of. And thank you guys for this opportunity.
on behalf of the residents of Belgrade, thank you.
Thank you.
I have a motion to approve 6F2 A, B, and C by Commissioner Flores, a second by Vice Mayor Woodward. All in favor? Any opposed? Please see that that motion carries 6-0. Moving on to 6F3, A, B, C, and D. Does anyone need a presentation? I'll entertain a motion to approve. I have a motion by Vice Mayor Woodward, a second by Commissioner Flores. All in favor? Any opposed? Please see that the motion carries 6-0. Moving on to 6F4, A and B. Our card had to leave. One left. And who do we have to speak, Commissioner Flores?
Do we want to do the presentation first, or let?
Does anyone need a presentation on 6F4?
Okay, then it's Daniel Marakowitz.
Good afternoon, Madam Mayor.
Good afternoon.
Madam Vice Mayor, Commissioners, County Administrator Bruzo. My name's Danny Marakovitz with Traybell Housing. I just wanted to thank the commissioners for allowing us to come back so quickly and get this project back in front of you. I wanted to thank staff for working tirelessly over the holidays to make this happen today. I'm here representing the development team. We have members from the church here as well. If there are any additional questions needed, we're here to answer those. Thank you again for your consideration.
Thank you so much. Commissioner Flores?
just to clarify, they are committing 100%, 101 units to the workforce housing. No, I'm sorry. Affordable housing, correct. And that has now been changed, and staff is recommending approval.
Yes, sir.
Make a motion to approve.
I have a motion by Commissioner Flores, a second by Commissioner Weiss. All in favor? Any opposed? Please see that the motion carries 6-0. Thank you all. Thank you. Moving on to item 6G1. We have one card. Commissioner Flores? Oh, does anyone need a presentation? Oh, yes, we are going to do a presentation for the legislative agenda.
You want to do comments first or after?
We'll take the comments first.
I have Eric Menzel. Please come forward. You have 3 minutes.
Good afternoon. My name is Eric Menzel. I'm a senior member with the Civil Air Patrol, United States Air Force Auxiliary, and I wanted to give you all a brief history lesson on the services that we offer. In February 1941, 3 former World War I pilots who were deemed unfit for service used their private planes right here in West Palm Beach to survey the coast and identified U-boats from Germany right here off of West Palm Beach. They promptly wrote a memorandum and sent it straight to Washington. The reaction from Washington was immediate. General LaGuardia formed the Civil Air Patrol by December 1941 and designated 3 task force. This is Task Force 3, based right in Palm Beach. It was one of the very first organizations of the Civil Air Patrol. Now, as the war effort in World War II went on, they started arming the Civil Air Patrol with 100-pound bombs. Needless to say, the members of Palm Beach County were not too impressed with that flying over their houses.
I would think not.
So, the farmers in Lantana donated their farmland for the construction of the Lantana Airport to this county. It was backed by federal funding signed by a memorandum by General LaGuardia, and that is how we have Lantana Airport. So, our squadron, the Lantana Squadron, has been operating there since the beginnings of Civil Air Patrol and World War II. Now, fast forward a few years, and I want to tell you a little bit about the services that we do. We now have evolved into the world's largest small engine aircraft force. We have over 500 planes located across the country. We also have 60,000 active members that are all volunteer staff working on emergency services, aerospace education, and cadet programs. Based right here in Lantana, Task Force 3 has an amazing group of individuals here to support emergency services, and whatever it is that you need, we're here to help you. This is, Commissioner Powell, probably one of the best kept secrets in Palm Beach. So, we can do search and rescue and aid in those operations. We can do TFRs. You're familiar, I believe that's on the agenda here. We actually are the individuals that distribute those TFRs to the actual airports, saving the taxpayers thousands and thousands of dollars. So with that said, the purpose of me being here today is to bring your awareness to Civil Air Patrol and the Air Force Auxiliary and let you know that we want to strengthen the bond with this commission to expand the scope of those emergency services. That includes rescue missions, search and rescue. We even do counter-drug interdiction. We can do ISR. So thank you very much, and I look forward to working with you.
Thank you so much.
If I may.
Of course.
Sir, you brought this up as part of the legislative, the federal legislative agenda. Is there a tie-in to the federal legislative agenda? I failed to. Maybe I missed it.
Yes, absolutely. As you're going to Washington and you're working to secure those tax dollars, I noticed that the Civil Air Patrol is not on any of the items that you have listed here. So we want to ensure that you're aware that we exist and have that tied into your approach in Washington as you're lobbying for dollars. We are the low-cost alternative to those search and rescue operations. we're the available source for you as well to do a lot of this work right here in Palm Beach.
Got
but
it.
it's not tied into the proposed agenda.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
Commissioner Sachs, you're recognized.
Yes, thank you very much, Madam Mayor. So you are a search and rescue operation, and you are based here in Lantana Airport. And I've never heard of you before. I'm sorry, Maybe that's a good thing.
That's
I
kept
didn't-
secret, ma'am.
Yes, I didn't know any about it. But so to tie in with what we're doing at this next issue with our federal lobbying group in Washington, what can we do? Are you part of the Army Corps of Engineers, or what? Where do you fit in with a funding request?
So we are the official United States Air Force Auxiliary. And so with those funding requests, we work with federal partners, state partners, as well as county partners. And you can get those funds allocated to support the missions that we can do for you. So for instance, we work with FEMA.
So no, let me just say something. Have you spoken to our lobbying team here to include your funding request in our request to the federal government?
No, ma'am. In 40 years, this is the first time we've actually approached the commission since you've allocated our space.
Very good. So why don't we talk, why don't at some point, let's put the two of y'all together and let's see if we can't, talk to Mr. Nagel, because this is good. I didn't know anything about you. And this is really important that we know and that we are able to use your services. And thank you for your service, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Very good.
One more question, Madam Mayor.
Commissioner Weiss, you're recognized, and Commissioner Powell.
Yeah, thank you. I just wanted to say thank you. And I was aware of the Civil Air Patrol. I am a pilot, but I appreciate the work that you all do and services. And I was just going to suggest same thing. Talk to staff and see if there's something that makes sense as be part of our agenda. If there's funding, if there's a certain funding source or grant program that can be taken advantage of, I know our staff would be happy to work with you all.
Thank you very much, Commissioner. And just so you know, we're always open to new volunteers, and we love pilots.
I volunteer. I volunteer, Commissioner Weiss.
you volunteer.
No, I volunteer, Commissioner Weiss.
You and your horse go out there.
Commissioner Powell, you're recognized.
Thank you for your service. The question I have is similar to what my colleagues did, but in terms of funding and a request, what's your budget?
Are we talking nationally or at the state level?
At the state level, or you talked about 3 areas here in Palm Beach County, and our particular area specifically. What would a budget like that look like? And if we were to do a request, if you would work with our team and our lobbyists for a request, what would that look like? What amount of funding?
Yes, sir. The budget nationally is about $250 million from the United States Air Force. However, it's also broken up amongst the individual agencies. For instance, FEMA is one of the largest backers of that. So we're used for all of the disaster assessment and reconnaissance for FEMA in the event of a hurricane. However, we can break it all the way down to the individual county level. And for instance, we have Group 5 has an MOU signed where we do harbor patrols. And you basically pay for fuel only, and we'll fly the harbors and monitor traffic, boats, anything of interest. And that's at an individual county level. That could be done as inexpensively as you need it to be.
Thank you so much for your service, and thank you for being here today.
Thank you.
With that, we do need a motion to adopt item 6G1. Are they going to present? Usually I'd take the motion in a second, and then we will let them present, but I have a motion by Commissioner Powell, a second by Commissioner Flores, and if staff, you would please proceed. The abbreviated version, please.
Good morning, Mayor, or good afternoon, Mayor Baxter, Vice Mayor Woodward, and Commissioners. Here we have our Palm Beach County federal agenda for 2026. In our transportation silo, we are supportive of legislation that would set aside 10% federal funds for farm-to-market roads that is being sponsored by Representative Aladeo from California. as well as an earmark for County Road 880. In the airport section, we are supportive of all the grants for PBIA, for North County Airport, as well as an earmark for security improvements at PBIA. And we are also doing earmarks for Australian Avenue for Public Works. In our environment silo, we are supportive of changes to the WRDA in the next cycle so that we can complete our beach renourishment projects in the pipeline in North County and South County, as well as working with the Corps on the interpretation of the easements for beach renourishment projects, as well as supporting legislation that our congressional delegation has gotten behind.
Excuse me, Alessandro.
Yes.
Commissioner Powell, you're recognized.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Alessandro, if you don't mind, a lot of people who may be watching at home, even here in the audience, are not familiar with abbreviations. Okay. When you say water, it sounds really quickly, it sounds like you're saying water. What is a water?
It's the Water Resource Development Act.
Thank you.
Apologies.
Please proceed.
Yes. In addition, we are seeking earmarks for water treatment plant upgrades to address the PFAS water quality in water treatment plant 2 and 8 in the Green Acres area, and then out west by the Turnpike on Okeechobee and Jog Boulevard. Most importantly, in our public safety silo, we are seeking FEMA reimbursements for police and fire for overtime in protecting our president in our home county, which is both a privilege and an honor. We are working with our lobby team as well as administration to make sure that the reimbursements are made whole, and we've submitted both reimbursements, and FEMA, that notice of funding will come in January. And that is, and as well as working with our lobby team to address the TFRs and the loss of business revenue at the Lantana Airport.
Excuse me, Alessandro. Commissioner Weiss, you're recognized.
Yeah, thank you. I know this is a really abbreviated presentation, but this is quite a comprehensive document. If the public was interested because they didn't hear their specific area of interest brought up, is there a place where they can see this online so that they can see that we are working to help try and obtain funding for a lot of quite a breadth of projects throughout the county?
So the legislative agenda is on our Legislative Affairs webpage, and that's at Palm Beach County website, Legislative Affairs.
So they can find out get all the details about everything you all are working on. Great.
Thank you. Commissioner Powell, you're recognized.
That pass. We'll keep moving.
Please proceed.
Will do. In our economic development section, we have a supportive of opportunity zones, making sure that they align with our local needs, working with our cities, and then making sure that the governor, when he makes these recommendations in the fall and the summer, that we have more than 11 opportunity zones that were selected in the last cycle. And are the most comprehensive housing legislation that's being considered at the federal level is the Road to Housing Act, and we're supportive of that. It includes everything from expedited permitting to transient-oriented development to financing for housing units, and as well as working with HUD on updating the formula for household income limits and making sure that we can better suit for Palm Beach County's needs, as well as the rural definition for the city of Belglade for the grants and things of that nature that we seek at the federal level. In the healthcare space, we are supportive of the grant programs for fair housing, for the sober homes, for opioid use, for HIV funding, for our veterans, for the Farm Bill, which was reauthorized in the continuing resolution during the shutdown last fall, as well as for SNAP. Making sure we get that from the 70-30 to a 50-50 balance in the Farm Bill. In the education silo, we are supportive of the library's grants, as well as equitable broadband access across the county, and finally, a comprehensive framework for AI as we move into this battle between the federal and the state government. Coincidentally, yesterday there was a bill filed at the state level dealing with data centers that we'll be closely monitoring this session. In the last fiscal year, we are still awaiting the THUD part of the appropriations, that is the Transportation, Housing, Urban, and Development agencies that need to be funded for these 4 projects. That is Peanut Island, North County Airport, Palm Beach Lakes Boulevard Bridge, and Burt Aronson South County projects. The House and the Senate just released 3 bills that will be considered at the end of January when the continuing resolution expires. The THUD, or the Transportation, Housing, Urban, and Development, has not been included in that, so it'll be included at a later date. But though we are still awaiting that tranche of funding to get those grant dollars back to the county.
Excuse me, Alessandro.
Yes.
Commissioner Sacks, you're recognized.
No, thank you very much. And I had a great meeting with them all yesterday, so I'm very much aware of these issues. But on our website, will there be people that you will be meeting with, Congress people, department heads in Washington, or we will be meeting with, specifically on these issues? And you don't need to tell us now, because I know the mayor wants abbreviated, and I do too. But at least on the, we talk about veterans. We're going to be but we'll be certainly putting pressure on Congressman Mast when it comes to the number of veterans that we have who are homeless here. So that will be included in your website. Is that correct? Okay,
Yes.
very good. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
I
you,
don't want to hit on
Commissioner.
anybody.
Please proceed, Alessandro.
Will do. And just to further answer your question very briefly, we'll be meeting with our congressional delegation when we go up to DC in late February for the NACO conference. And the appropriations window for what we call community project funding opens in early spring. So that's when we'll meet with both our congressional delegation and their staff for consideration of the earmarks, which we'll be proposing for this next fiscal year. And that includes an earmark for water treatment plant upgrades, County Road 880, Australian Avenue, Palm Beach International Airport security improvements, for modern fencing and intrusion detection, and as well as for the presidential protection of the Air Force One is parked there, as well as for Lake Worth Lagoon and Restore Reentry. And that is our federal agenda.
Thank you. Any questions? We do have a motion and a second. All in favor? Any opposed? Please see that that motion carries 6-0.
Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to district appointments. Do any commissioners have any appointments?
I do, Madam Mayor.
Commissioner Sacks, you're recognized.
Thank you so much. I'd like to appoint Mayor Tom Carney to the Tourist Development Board.
Okay. Any other appointments? Okay. Seeing none, do we have administrator comments? I do have under administrator comments, motion to receive and file.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'd like a motion to receive and file.
I'll entertain a motion. A first by Commissioner Weiss, a second by Commissioner Sacks. All in favor? Any opposed? Please see that that motion carries 6-0. I would like to extend a very warm welcome to our new county attorney, David Oddie. Thank you for being with us. Thank you for being here and helping. If you would like to say some comments, please.
Thank you, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Commissioners. I want to say a special thank you. This is my first opportunity to publicly say thanks for your vote and your confidence in me, and I expect to work closely with you to achieve your goals and objectives and to lead our office in a professional manner that will provide timely legal responses to you and serve the board and the public at large very well. I also wanted to just mention that you may have seen a little booklet on your desk. I took the liberty to reach out to the folks at Graphics to have them put this together. It was approved by the board in April of last year. It's the rules of procedures. So I just wanted to make it into a booklet so all the members of the commission could have it ready at hand if needed.
Thank you so much.
No problem.
Do we have any direction by the board? Commissioner Weiss, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mayor. Yesterday, we sent out a letter, and this was on behalf of the Water Resource Task Force from our previous December 18th meeting, and there was a recommendation made by the members of the task force regarding a project that would create the ability to convey water from all the way from the C-51 reservoir around up into the Locks River. And this is something that was originally a part of the SERP plan 30 years ago, but a few years ago it was removed from SERP, but something that was noted and needed in Palm Beach County. A couple of years ago, we set aside money from our ARPA replacement dollars. $8 million was set aside to assist in funding this project. And so we're looking to ask for direction to be given to staff to two things, really. One is to pursue both state and federal grants that would be available to support this. And I should have mentioned, this project would include stormwater drainage for the ITID area, in addition to providing water for the environmental needs of the Locks River and recharge for the L8 basin. So it would be to give direction for staff to be able to pursue those grants, as well as to add this to our priorities for our legislative priorities this year. As we're up in Tallahassee next week, we'll be meeting with Secretary of Department of Environmental Protection, which controls a lot of these grants. So that's my request, is that we give board direction, and staff is here to answer any questions.
Directions without objection.
I know, but I'm making it known.
He's not objecting.
No. Making it known.
So,
In favor.
is there any
No questions.
No questions?
questions?
Yeah.
Vice Mayor Woodward?
I did just have one question. In your letter, you had $8 million set aside with the ARPA. Is that already set aside, or are
It
we
is.
having to do that? It's done?
No, it's
Okay,
already,
perfect.
it's been set aside.
Thank you.
I would like to take an opportunity to thank Commissioner Weiss for bringing this to everyone's attention. As we know, that water and drainage are a huge part of our county and what helps keep it going. So thank you for this, and I do support going after grant dollars to support this. So thank you so much. With that, and no other lights, Commissioner Powell, you recognized? Yes, we're going to do comments now, and I will start with Commissioner Sacks and work our way over.
Just want to wish everybody a Happy New Year. I thought it was a good meeting today, and it's just been a real journey. And I think that consolidation is happening in our county government, and it is an indication that we're going to streamline county government and make us as efficient and transparent and business-like as possible. So I look forward to a 2026 moving forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Weiss, you're recognized.
Thank you. On behalf of Commissioner Marino, District 1, requesting off-site approval for a proclamation recognizing the 188th Battle of the Loxahatchee.
I have a motion by Commissioner Weiss, a second by Vice Mayor Woodward. All in favor? Any opposed? Please see that that motion carries 6-0.
Thank you. And prior to our holiday break, there was discussion regarding Israel bonds and the ability for Palm Beach County to continue to acquire Israel bonds. I know our county administrator had brought this to our attention with concerns regarding cash flow. After that meeting, with discussions with Administrator Abruzzo, the folks from Israel Bonds, Administrator Abruzzo and I had these discussions. We were able to obtain some favorable terms for the county. One being that in the past, in order Israel Bonds required that you split your bonds 50% 2-year, 50% 3-year. They have agreed to 100% 2-year schedule. They also were able to offer us additional interest. And so with that and looking, Administrator Abruzzo was able to look at the cash flow needs. We're able to move forward with being able to continue to purchase Israel bonds, which I know is meaningful for us in terms of the interest that we earn on our taxpayer dollars, but it's also, in terms of our relationship with the State of Israel as well. So I just wanted to report this back to the board, so thank you.
Great news. Thank you, Commissioner Weiss. Commissioner Flores, you're recognized.
Yes, I just want to wish everybody Happy New Year also today. We celebrate 3 Wise Men's Day. So it's a cultural celebration, basically focused on family, faith, and gift giving for especially the children. So I know there's a lot of families out there celebrating it. I know me, my family, my children, it's something that we have, a tradition that we have kept, and I'm extremely proud to be able to continue that. Lastly, I would like to request an off-site proclamation declaring January 31st, 2026 as Susan G. Komen More Than Pink Walk Day.
I have a motion by Commissioner Flores and a second by Vice Mayor Woodward. All in favor? Any opposed? Please see that that motion carries 5-0.
And I want to remind everybody that next week at the workshop, I'm looking at Todd. No, they're not bringing the Palm Tran?
Next week's Palm Beach County Days.
Okay, the following week, whenever we have the next workshop, Palm Tran will be, the bus will be downstairs for us to do a photo op. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Powell, you're recognized.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. And like Commissioner Sachs said, it is a new year, and I want to remind people we've got a new beginning. People say a new year, new me. But this new year, remember, is such a wonderful opportunity. I think 2025 was a year of a lot of change here in Palm Beach County. And remembering it's up to us in terms of what we make of our day. My daughter, when we watch movies for movie night, she watched Encanto like 87 times. But there's a portion that sticks out, reminding people that the miracle is not some magic that you got, but the miracle is you, all of you, all of you. Now, Commissioner Flores did a proclamation earlier about rediscovering reading. Reading is so important. It is the gateway to education. I want to remind us that we, in this new year, we need to emphasize that. I saw the library here, Doug Crane. I remember that reading is an invaluable act of continual learning and personal growth. I have sad news. We recently lost a council member in North Palm Beach, Kristen Garrison, passed during the holidays. Kristen, I believe, previously worked for the county. She worked for the school district. She is a urban planner, or a planner, was a planner, AICP certified. And I did want to recognize her commitment to service. I said that a life of service is a life that counts. As the state senator for District 24 and District 30, North Palm Beach was a part of my district. And I had the opportunity to work with her and all the members of North Palm Beach, but I did want to take a moment to make sure that we dutifully recognize that we did lose one of our colleagues in the elected office. So a moment of silence for Kristen Garrison. And I know my aunt's watching. As we announce important days, I want to wish Arcus McCrae, my mother's sister, a very, very happy birthday. So happy birthday, Aunt Nita. I know you're watching, and wish you the best year. Make the rest of the year the best of your year. With that being said, thank you for the opportunity. Don't forget a few things. Don't forget the Battle of the Bands, the National Battle of the Bands. We did a proclamation earlier. That will take place on Saturday, January 17th, 2026, in Boca Raton at Florida Atlantic University. And don't forget the Martin Luther King Coordinating Committee's events that are taking place. And if you have children between the ages of kindergarten through 12th grade, please do not hesitate. It's open to all children to participate in oratorical, essay writing, art, and poetry, I believe. So with that being said, those are my comments, and I'll stick to it. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Flores, you're recognized.
Yeah, sorry, I forgot to mention, this Saturday, starting around 11 a.m., we, District 3, we host Fiesta de Pueblo with the American Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. There's music, food, culture, and gift giving for the children. The Three Wise Men show up and give out gifts. And the county, the Cultural Council, and a number of different organizations throughout the county are partners. So you guys are all welcome. We'd love to see you there. I'll be there and enjoying some good food. Thank you.
Thank you. Vice Mayor Woodward, you're recognized.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. And it's good to go after Commissioner Powell. You covered most of what I had to say, so thank you very much for that. And condolences to the Garrison family and to North Palm Beach and anyone that knew her, and for all of her years of service. We are going to be going to Tallahassee next week for Palm Beach County Days, so I'm sure we'll see a number of all of the community groups that will be going there. Look forward to that. This Friday is actually the Boca Raton Resort's 100-year celebration, so some more of the booming 1920s in South County. It seems to be when almost everything got built in the 25 and 26. So with that, that'll be the end of my comments, and just Happy New Year to everyone.
I will wrap it up by saying Happy New Year to everyone, and I appreciate all of my fellow commissioners, Vice Mayor Woodward, for making this a great meeting. We are going to adjourn and reconvene at 2 p.m. for matters by the public. Thank you, everyone.
Ready?
Yeah, please call the first few names, Commissioner.
All right, we got Eric Menzel. So, by the way, we have 2 podiums, so you can come to each one of them. When one's done, the other one can begin. I have Eric Menzel, David London, perhaps, Cindy Falco DiCorrado, and Jane Justice.
Good afternoon. I am back. Eric Menzel, Civil Air Patrol. This is actually a matter of county business that I wanted to raise, in particular, related to our operation in the Lantana Airport. As you know from my brief history lesson, we've operated in Lantana since 1941. And in 1983, Owen Gasaway, whom this commission honored for operating Lantana and being a foundational member of Palm Beach County, worked to have us relocated into the old firehouse building. This commission built the new firehouse station. And we've operated there for the last 40 years, since 1983. Currently, the Airport Authority has it in their minutes that they are looking to demolish that building that this commission has put on continued resolution to be the Civil Air Patrols since that time period. So I wanted to raise this matter to your attention and see if we can't work together to ensure that our operations are well secured into the future in supporting Palm Beach County and the residents of Florida and the state. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Just a reminder, you can line up. We have 2 podiums. I got David London, Cindy Falco DiCorrado, and Jane Justice.
Good afternoon, David London. Problem is, if you stand over there, you can't see the timer. So, I would like to suggest you have a captioning system. I suggest that also for the Palm-Tran board meeting. It would help when some of you don't speak into the mic or there's a problem with that. Next Monday is the 12th of January. It's a day called the James Bedford Day. Now, James Bedford was the first person who, when he was dying back in 1967, he chose in advance to have his body frozen in the hope he can be brought back in the future. He was a vocational psychologist, written a text as early as 1932, and that did happen not under the best of circumstances. There have been about 500 plus people since then. Now, it just so happens in Boynton Beach for the past, I forget, 15, 20 years, there's a facility manned by paramedics, because that's the first thing. Paramedics have to employ some of the techniques early on before they go to some more advanced techniques to try to ideally put someone in a frozen state as best as they can. So I propose that, I put that on Donald Trump's, on the Truth Social website, because when all else fails, but they're not smart enough to want to do that. The Secret Service or whatever, but it's on his website. Now, on another issue, since I've sent letters to you, emails about involuntary smoking, and I have a big problem with that. Medical problem, a psychological problem, a physiological problem, because I've been injured a lot of different ways, so you can't tell. So, So where am I going? Okay, I got a bunch of stuff to talk about. Anyway, because the problem is the programs that the VA has, that you have, are so poorly inadequate because there are many techniques that have been developed but are not part of the traditional therapy that anyone employed by you or a drug treatment house or knows enough about, but I've collected that stuff for many, many years. Back in July 31st, 1937, Miamian demonstrates motor engine driven by air pressure that he claims will make use of fuel entirely unnecessary. The Miami Herald. A lot of technology, other than using oil or even electric cars, to do things totally different.
All right, Cindy Falco DiCorrado, Jane Justice, Faye Bernstein.
Good afternoon. I am here to speak in opposition to the Project Tango, the proposed mega AI data center planned for approximately 202 acres in Loxahatchee. This project raises serious and legitimate concerns for our community, concerns about water, energy, cost to residents, environmental strain, and lack of public benefit. First, water and energy use. Mega AI data centers require enormous continuous electricity and massive water consumption for cooling. Comparable facilities in other states are projected to use tens of millions of gallons of water per day and more electricity than major cities. South Florida is already facing aquifer stress, rising utility demand, and long-term water sustainability challenges. Approving a project of this scale puts residents at risk. And I believe you all swore an oath to protect and help and uphold the Constitution and the residents. So second, costs to existing residents. To support a facility like this, utilities must expand infrastructure, substations, transmission lines, water delivery, and treatment systems. Historically, those costs are passed directly to consumers, meaning higher electric bills, higher water bills, and higher taxes for families who receive no benefit from the project. These facilities are often granted tax abatements and reduced utility rates, while the community absorbs the environmental and infrastructure burden. That is not fair or balanced trade for Palm Beach County residents. The majority of jobs are temporary construction jobs, which often create short-term housing shortages, traffic congestion, and strain our services. One-built these facilities employ very few permanent workers. Why? Because they're AI. This is not meaningful economic development for our community. Loxahatchee and surrounding areas are valued for their rural character, agricultural land, and environmentally sensitivity. A 3.7 million square foot industrial AI facility is fundamentally incompatible with that vision. In closing, this is a pro-community, pro-stewardship, pro-responsibility position. What we're asking is to pause this project, which I know you're having another meeting, require full transparency on water and energy usage, consider long-term impacts. It's the long-term impacts on our residents. You're taking agricultural land and you're making it into an electronic system. And respect the will of the community. Palm Beach County should not bear the costs while private interests take the gains. We ask you to reject Project Tango. Development should serve the people who live there, not burden them. And I'm going to leave you with this scripture: the prudent see danger and take refuge. Proverbs 22:3.
Jane Justice, Faye Bernstein, and Chris Nard.
Hey, thank you, Cindy. I don't have any notes. I'll have to apologize, but I'll muddle through this. I'm here against Project Tango, and for every good reason. There isn't a good reason to do it. What is artificial intelligence anyway? What the hell would you turn a county upside down for, cost so much money, use all our vital resources, electricity and water, and cost the people who are already out of their minds trying to keep up around here? Why would you do something like that? For artificial intelligence? How about a little wisdom from God? This project is absolutely insane. And I tell you, I appreciate Cindy saying you need to respect the will of the people. How do you even know what the will of the people is? The people don't even know this is happening. In fact, some people they say, well, you tell them about AI. What is AI? They don't even know what AI is. And what this is a diversion, it's a distraction, and it's a way to surveil people, and it's going to be used against every one of us. You know, the Lord is coming. I'm going to tell you that. It'd be a shame if I didn't tell you. The Lord is coming. And we're going to lose our freedom in this country. You read Revelation chapter 13. Nobody will be able to buy or sell except they take the mark of the beast. Well, I guarantee you, not too many people know what the mark of the beast is, but they will use AI to enforce it. So if you're doing something like this in a country that was paid for freedom freedom and liberty was paid for with the blood of so many people, and you march on spending our money like it's monopoly money. I know you heard me say that before, but isn't that the truth? $700 million invested in foreign bonds, $322 million in excess for mostly in salaries. Here in Palm Beach County, $322 million was doged here. It's not really funny. I don't know why the people that were voted in office would laugh about this or smirk about this. It's not at all funny when people can't afford to live here anymore. You need to care about what the people think, and you need to let the people know what's going on for a project like this, you know? This is a serious project, and nobody here really knows. You're going to take somebody else's word. You go behind closed doors. You make deals behind closed doors, and the people don't know what's going on. And what you're doing is destroying the country. There's nothing left here. Like Cindy said about Waxahachie and the agriculture lands, this is part of the beauty here. When I drive downtown here and we see all these murals and everything. How about the birds and the bees? How about the trees? Are you a little bit concerned about that? And yet, who took the buses away for the poor people in Peoke? You took the buses away and you want to spend money like this?
Thank you, ma'am. We have
Thank you very much.
Bernstein.
Commissioner Flores, real quick. I'm going to address some of the comments that have been said. First of all, for the project that we're talking about, they are already approved for a data center. What they are asking for is more of an approval. Secondly, I am having a town hall on January 28th, which is a Wednesday evening at 6 p.m. at 151 Civic Center Way in Royal Palm Beach, Florida. And I plan to have all the experts there to speak to every concern that residents have and to hear them out and to hear what they want to proceed forward, especially the ones who live closest to this project. Also, where this project is being produced in alignment with or the comments about agricultural land, you will not find a bigger advocate for the agricultural industry than myself, but the land that is being proposed on will never be able to be farmed or in agriculture. So I do appreciate that, and I want to keep as much land in agriculture as possible, but I want to make sure that we're getting the correct information out there to our residents, and I do hope that as many people that are able can attend that town hall. So please proceed.
Well, I'm commenting on the same thing. Okay, Project Tango. I'm actually really upset about it. I found out after the last meeting, and nobody seemed to know about it. To me, it's an absolutely horrible project.
Ma'am, please forgive me. What's your name?
Faye Bernstein, sorry.
Thank you, Faye.
So to me, it's a horrible project for all the reasons, the water usage, everything. But there's another thing that I'm a structural engineer, and I just got a notice from the American Society of Civil Engineers late December, and I left a partial copy of the article. There was a satellite, an English satellite, that took photos over a Bitcoin facility in Texas. And you can just see the heat rating out for this. I don't know, I think they said they just took it, but the satellite that they took it on actually was destroyed at the end of 2023. So people say they think it's October 2020, that's already 2 years. And you can just see from all the facilities, all this heat radiating off. And the reason it's in the news now is all of a sudden there's building all these AI centers. You don't even know what it's doing to us. I mean, I don't like it for many reasons. I don't see the purpose. And I would like you to say that in the meeting. Can somebody please tell us why we need it? I don't see any benefit to our community or to our state, but I want to know why it's being pushed other than surveillance on ourselves. That's it. Thank you. And I left a copy. It's not the full article, but you can download it from the internet.
Thank you.
We have Chris Nard. We have Karen Yee. Linda Smith.
Hey, I'm Chris Nard. I'm CEO of Fortify Financial. I've met many of you in the past. Fortify Financial is a PACE provider in Florida. We were writing business in Palm Beach County via a judicial bond validation issued by the court in Leon County, where those all get issued. We wrote over $11 million of business here for over 400 million homeowners, or 400 homeowners over the last couple of years. The county didn't want to collect, the tax collector didn't. She refused to put them on the tax roll. They sued to block it in the Second Circuit Court. The Second Circuit Court upheld their decision, ordered them to be placed on the tax roll. They still didn't appeal it to the Florida Supreme Court. The Florida Supreme Court ruled a couple of weeks ago upholding the lower court, which said they had to go on the tax roll. So I'm here to try to get this behind us now that the entire Florida court system has ruled on this, and Fortify has spent millions of dollars to try to get this thing legally taken care of. I'm sure Palm Beach County has spent much more than that in this. We'd like to put this behind us. There's 400 homeowners who have borrowed money. Their assessments aren't on the tax roll, but surprisingly, almost 70% of those people pay us each year on their own, just because they borrowed the money and they know it's the right thing to do. There's still 30% of them out there that aren't paying. And the sooner we can get them on the tax roll, we keep them from falling further behind. And if we get them on the tax roll, they can start paying, they can work with their mortgage company to make these payments. If they get further behind, the mortgage companies may not be willing to do that. So we're here to pledge anything we can do to work with the tax collector, work with the county to get these lawsuits behind us, implement what the Supreme Court ruled on right before Christmas, and get the property owners on the tax roll. Again, there's about 400 people. It's about 11 million plus or minus, depending on who paid off on any given time, that aren't on the roll that thought they would be. And about 60 to 70% of them pay every year. So there's not some huge backlog where nobody has paid. And you're going, well, how do we manage all of these people getting hit at once? Most of them have paid, and the ones that haven't, like in the mortgage business during COVID, they probably know they have the obligation, and they probably haven't spent the money, so to speak. They've held it, and when the things work themselves out, they catch up on their mortgage payments, and we would anticipate they'll catch up on their PACE assessments. So if there are any questions, I'm around. Thank you.
Thank you.
Karen Yee, Linda Smith, and Maria Pisano.
Yes. My name is Karen Ye. I live in 1305 Via de Pepe, Boynton Beach, Florida, 33426. This is a great public importance. I would like to respectfully ask the commissioner to give more money to the clerks of court for them to establish property title fraud scam team. Collect property title fraud, combat the property title fraud scam, provide funding to the clerk of the court, allow the collected recording fee, more collection on the recording fee, for the purpose of investigation and prevention property title fraud scams, and able to refer the cases to law enforcement immediately. Make easy for victims of property title fraud scam to report rather than asking the victims must hire and pay attorney to report property title fraud crimes. Stop illegal judgments signed by the judges. The judges need to sign court order based on Florida rules of civil procedure and also Florida laws, not just making up their own laws or predatory attorney filed cases without really having a legal jurisdiction for the judge to able to sign judgments. And I would like to volunteer for property title fraud prevention team because I don't really need the money, but I'm very knowledgeable. I'm an accountant. I was a fraud auditor in Wall Street, and I'm a licensed real estate broker. I'm a Florida licensed community association manager, and also let's see, what else do I have? Oh, Florida professional licensed teacher for math, science, and ESOL endorsement. So I will greatly appreciate that I can help with this come back to team. Thank you for your attention to this matter. And collection the fee would help with prevention this kind of fraud scam. Thank you. I have 38 seconds left. Any questions? No? Thank you.
Thank you.
Linda Smith, Jupiter, Florida. I'm asking Craig to pass out some copies. I'm with the Sierra Club, but this time I'm passing out some information from the 1,000 Friends of Florida, Palm Beach County 2070. Florida 2070 focuses on how we could unfortunately develop, and you as county commissioners have the power to create a better outcome. Our agricultural lands, which was just discussed, is most at risk. We need to build better communities and protect vital conservation, agricultural, and other working lands, like Florida Forever and Florida Greenway lists. Yes, natural areas are working for all of us. And what are we doing spending money at Times Square to promote more people to come into the county? Also in this is Water for 2070, which indicates water consumption. If we don't change, more compact development will lessen the demand for water automatically. If we add common sense conservation measures, we can reduce water consumption even more. Landscaping is the easy, low-hanging fruit for this, native, drought-tolerant landscapes. Did you know there's also a Florida Water Star certification program for properties, both commercial and residential? Water Star homes could save 6,000 gallons of water a year. When developers come to you asking for favors, require the property to be Water Star certified and attach a substantial performance bond to that project. The favors of the past have come with too few benefits to the county. The county is still on a water restriction. I don't know how many people know you're not allowed to water every day. We are on water restrictions. We have never had them taken down, and we're going into the dry season. I don't think the average person knows this. Please use your bully pulpit, residents get your monthly newsletters, and provide sustainable education to the constituents. Representative Weinberger's current newsletter had 2 articles that were of interest to me personally, one on proper lithium battery disposal and the other on recycling. The county residents need more reminders about proper recycling. Is the pizza box in? Is the pizza box out? We don't know. We get confused. You are the Solid Waste Authority Governing Board as well. Representative Weinberger is not. So I'm asking you to put forth more effort, to educate all the constituents. I apologize. I don't know where it just disappeared. I don't know how to get it back. I still pull bottles and cans out of the courtyard downstairs and on this floor's trash can. And there's a recycle bin right next to it. And does the 12th floor
Thank you, Linda.
have a recycle bin? Happy New Year.
All right, we got Maria Pisano, David Wood, Drew Martin, Allison Rumperson, and Sam Cintron.
Okay, thank you. Maria Pisano from Jupiter, Florida. I'm going to speak about composting. Composting is the process of recycling kitchen scraps and other organic materials into nutrient-rich soil that can be used as fertilizer and to improve soil health. Composting uses nitrogen-rich fruits, vegetables, scraps, coffee grounds, etc., and brown or carbon-containing materials like leaves, twigs, wood chips, cardboard, etc., to form the earthy material that nourishes the floor. I mention the components of compost because they tell us that our county is rich in these foundational resources. We have many food establishments and we pick up yard waste and recycling. Composting is a way to reduce waste, fight climate change, decrease water pollution by eliminating the use of chemical fertilizers, enriching our soils, building community, for example, when practicing community gardens, generating better and more nutritious food for our population, reducing the need for water, reducing soil erosion, and even creating jobs. With all of these benefits, why would Palm Beach County prohibit composting except by single-family individuals? The reason I have found is that Palm Beach County, through the Solid Waste Authority, chooses to monopolize the materials that can be used in composting to burn in our 2 incinerators. It seems to me that a more logical policy would be to encourage composting and avoid building a new incinerator that would add $1.5 billion to taxpayers in Palm Beach County. In its place, we could have all the environmental benefits of composting, create jobs and businesses, and improve the public's health. Thank you for listening and considering that these are better alternative solutions to building an incinerator. Thank you.
Thank you. David Wood, Drew Martin, Allison Rumpersad, and Samson Trone.
Hello, my name's David Wood. I live in Lake Worth Beach at 321 Fordham Drive. I'm rising in opposition to this Tango AI building. I kind of decided at the last moment to come to this meeting, so I didn't prepare at all, but I have some very strong feelings about it. And I want to just say that I agree with Cindy Falco and Jane Justice, everything that they've said in reference to this. As far as I can see, the big question is why? Why do we want this thing? Who is it going to benefit? Unless it's benefiting you guys somehow, which is a higher possibility based on the county commission's history. But it's not benefiting the citizens, and it's basically increasing government's ability to spy on us as individuals and control us. And that's pretty much all it is. And I don't need the time. I don't need the whole time. I just want to let you know that this is being snuck in. The citizens don't know about this. And by the time they find out about it, it's going to be in place. And they're not going to forget who put this in once they realize it's detrimental to them. So that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Drew?
Drew Martin, here on behalf of the Loxahatchee Sierra Club. I do want to say first, the Sierra Club opposes the Project Tango, and I listened to the comments from Commissioner Baxter. I appreciate there's going to be a public meeting, but I think it's really important to understand the majority of the public doesn't understand the purpose of AI, and I don't think it's something we need here in Palm Beach County. The companies haven't done a good job of utilizing energy and water, and it would really be detrimental to the overall environment here in Palm Beach County. Now, that land where they want to put it, we opposed the data center from the very beginning. We said that was not a good place for a data center. It's next to the FPL plant, but other than that, there's no reason to put it there. That land was originally a cypress kind of area, cypress swamp. It was drained because of rock mining, and it could be restored to the benefit of the county. Now, I also want to say I'm very concerned as a taxpayer about this idea of removing property taxes. And I don't know if it has any legs or not, or if it's a possibility of happening, but I think it's about the worst idea I've ever heard. A lot of people come to Florida because they don't want income taxes, and that as a result, property taxes funds all your municipal services. If you don't have property taxes and you look at your property tax bill, which is pretty reasonable for most of us, it pays for your sewer, pays for your water, it pays for your solid waste authority, it pays for your fire, pays for your police. And my great-grandfather was a fire chief. And back in those days, if you had a fire, they came to your house and said, you pay us or we don't put out the fire. And the thing about property taxes now is the fire department gets paid and they put out the fire. You don't have to negotiate with them while your house burns down. But if you do away with property taxes and they don't get paid, guess what? They're not going to put out the fire at your house. So would you rather have your house burned down or would you rather pay property taxes? I'd rather pay property taxes. Well, the property tax is not a flat tax. I'm sorry, ma'am, that's not correct. The property tax is a progressive tax that depends on the value of your property. But it's still the only way to fund municipal government. If you're talking about sales taxes, it's going to be very complicated and difficult. Are you going to put it all in a gas tax? Are you going to put it all in a tax on large items? And how are you going to make sure that you collect enough money? Property taxes are pretty predictable. So I just want to finish with hoping that Palm Beach County is going to oppose any attempt to do away with property taxes. Thank you.
Thank you. Please proceed.
Good afternoon. My name's Allison Rampersad, and I'm here to voice my opposition to Project Tango. I love how Ms. Baxter says we will take information from the experts. Why do you never consider that we, the people who pay your salaries, just might be expert in some of the things that you all are thinking about doing? We're not stupid. Now, the proximity of this AI center to a school very much bothers me, and to the residential area that school is adjacent to. I'm sure that you've heard in the past where high-tension wires and other radiation-producing entities have caused cancer groups and other things. As the engineer said, you take a aerial shot of some of these different types of things that we're putting in these days that are all technology run, and you'll find out that they all generate heat and radiation. Eventually, this facility will fall on the shoulders of the taxpayers. It always does. Tri-Rail, Bright Line, all of these things, yeah, we're gonna pay for it. It's all gonna be privately funded for about 2 or 3 years, and then it falls to the taxpayer. And I think we are overburdened as it is. There are health concerns as well as the concerns that many of my friends here have mentioned. And in the end, we are destroying not only our people, but our beautiful state. We're destroying our culture, we're destroying our agriculture, and we're destroying our way of life. So I say, no, let's not do it. Thank you.
Samuel Cintron.
Good afternoon. Happy holidays. Happy New Year. I'm here to quote something quickly that I wish to have be considered for the year 2026. That is very viable. And in paper products, hemp, use alternate products, hemp, clothes, eliminate petroleum-based products, and utensils. I go to a store and they have plastic everything, paper, anything, use it, pick it up, now it's garbage. Usually you have wood-based products and very sustainable. The first thing we can do is go to the purchasing department. So purchasing departments normally have agreements already made with different municipalities and get a price. And many times it's cheaper than a regular where we regularly purchase from. These very PFAS, water quality. And I've had municipalities' water quality reports. Nothing's mentioned about PFAS, polyfluoride alkali substances, which comes into our bodies and it's in our brains. And they measure it. It's already in our brains. I looked to the internet. I looked at the internet, and they have big industrial size PFAS elimination products, and at a municipal level is somewhat viable. Something we need to look at this. It's a big product, and we know we have people telling us all the time how the environment is in a big predicament, and we're not doing anything. So we need to conserve our natural areas. And we have RRR, reduce, replace, or whatever it is, RRR. How about prevent? If we don't use it in the first place, we don't have to recycle it. Coffee, go to coffee, get a little wood replacement instead of plastic. Get rid of these plastics. We again, get the purchasing department involved, get uniforms, not made out of petroleum-based products, and utensils, and everything else. This is something I read rather quickly. I prepared, but this is something that we need to consider moving forward. Thank you very much.
That will conclude public comment. I hope everyone has a wonderful and happy day. Have a great one.